What's up, everybody? It's Sam here with a quick little show announcement, and that is that we have a StraightioLab live show in New York City at our home away from home, the Bell House, on March 13th. That is, I'm being told, close to selling out, so get those tickets quick. We're going to have Joe Firestone and Patty Harrison and potentially one other person there as special guests. And then I'm doing an hour at Union Hall in New York City on March 18th, and I also hear tickets are low for that, so move quick. And then I'm doing my hour 2 more times in Los Angeles, California on March 24th and April 1st. And there's actually quite a few tickets available for those, even though they're intimate little shows. So I would love if you guys got tickets to those. That would make my life much less humiliating. So see you there. Enjoy the episode. Bye. Podcast starts now. What is up, everyone? Around the globe. We are at the final George in LA recording.
We did it. We did it, folks. We did it, Joe.
We did it, Joe.
Remember that, y'all? Remember we did it, Joe?
Simpler times.
Oh, take me back.
Take me back. What a day.
Take me back to just having like a knot in my stomach that told me that it wasn't going to be okay. But then at the surface being like, well, what if it is? Where it's now, it's surfaced all the way down to the knot.
Yeah. Now it sucks to be like, damn. So we're just going to be sort of in a nightmare for the foreseeable future.
It's sort of interesting how the Charlie brat era reflects our political optimism then and also now what's happening with the Charlie movie.
Explain.
So Charlie Brat Summer coincided with like this like forced optimism about Kamala Harris.
Yes.
Now Charlie's doing her movie, which is like Brat Summer, but through a lens of even more sarcasm and irony, while we are all in the most cynical, scared, angry place we've ever been.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's intentional. And I also think people don't want to think back to the optimism of Brad Summer, so they're sort of like rejecting the film.
So she's like getting ahead of it and being like, that was weird.
I hope she's getting ahead of it, but I worry about that.
Sure,
I have not seen the film yet.
Yeah, me either.
But I hope that she can pull it off. If she can pull it off, it would be a generational accomplishment. I
gotta say, I believe. There's something about, I mean, obviously when she said Kamala is Brat, that was like the furthest she's gone into like quote unquote cringe, but it was like, but then she like immediately was like, what am I doing? I'm not going to do that anymore.
I maintain that was like a funny, stupid thing to say. I really reject people. I really reject people that like somehow believe that was her being like pussy hat liberal, women's march lib.
Yeah.
Like, come on. Everything she says is like through 15 layers of irony. Then
it was funny.
7 of which she's not even fully aware of.
I think she's going to pull it off. But of course, this is amazing to batch episodes in a time when, the news changes so quickly. I mean, at this rate, Charlie could be assassinated by the time this episode comes out. So
let's hope not.
Let's hope not, folks.
But of course, we will prepare a separate intro for if she's assassinated, and it's going to be saved as intro Charlie assassination version MP4.
We record over 100 versions of our intro for if any public figure that we discuss is assassinated within the next month. Just because we can't know because we're releasing this a month from, or 2 months, like a month and a half from now.
I just want to say if any of our last 8 to 10 episodes, none of them coincide with the time period in which we're listening to them. So everyone just has to sort of be chill about it. If you think we're not commenting on any political events, that's why. We don't know they happened.
They haven't happened yet.
We don't know about them.
And I just want to say that it's actually sad that you guys won't hear the version of this intro in which Amanda Seyfried got assassinated because we both cry. It's very emotional.
I really felt it.
I felt it so hard. I mean, obviously it was an acting exercise because we don't know what the future holds, but we both got to a place that was pretty real and grounded.
Well, I think we accessed our feelings about her being snubbed for the Oscar and said, okay, like that's how you're feeling now, already on the verge of tears, of course.
Of course.
I mean, after learning the teachings of Ann Lee.
After I learned the teaches of Ann Lee.
Straight shooter, teaches of peaches, or testament of Ann Lee. I'm going to have to go with testament of Ann Lee.
I'm going with testament of Ann Lee. No, I'm so inspired by the Shaker movement. I have not had sex since I've seen the movie. And I plan on continuing that run, or else God will not come through me.
Something interesting about me is that I actually, no joke, have not had sex since seeing that movie. And so, I mean, a big part of it is that I have been away from my husband in a different city. But, you know, I'm allowed to if I want to.
Oh, and honey,
I haven't. I've chosen not to, and it's because of Ann Lee.
A gay guy saying he's away from his husband in a different city is not an excuse for not having sex.
You know what it is? I wanted to say that just so people think I'm not in a sexless marriage, but not as a justification for not having sex. You know what I mean?
Sure. That's interesting.
Like, well, to be clear, it's my choice that I'm not having sex.
Yeah.
So anyway, I think we had a really big realization. Did I forward you this? We talked about it, how Ann Lee herself was actually fugly as hell.
Everyone, if you're near a phone or a computer or a home tablet, Google Ann Lee.
Go to
Reel.
Wikipedia for Ann Lee and look at the gorgeous illustration.
The amazing sketch.
Absolutely. This, like, it's made by like the most cruel Coney Island sketch artist, caricature artist.
You've heard of a 5 head when your forehead is too big. Well, honey, this is like a 10 head.
This is like,
the forehead is so gigantic. I've never seen anything like it. And it's pretty easy to understand why she could forego sex. In the film, it was like, oh, but she's married to the hot guy from Girls. Why wouldn't she want to blow him as he so insists he wants? And then now you see the Wikipedia drawing and you say, oh, I get it.
Yeah, you're saying, I don't think she would have dated Charlie from Girls.
I don't think she would have.
I don't necessarily think, I don't even think she would have dated Ray from Girls, to be honest.
Honey, she wishes.
No, but of course, the forehead, you know why it's so big? So you can project the testament of Ann Lee on it and do a big movie night with the gang after everyone is tired from a day of blue ballsing themselves.
Yes.
For the Lord.
For the Lord, everyone.
So what we're doing today is a good old fashioned call-in episode. This is like one of my favorite batch of calls we've gotten, I think.
Wow, I don't rank them.
Okay.
I love all batches of calls equally.
Well, something happens without us planning it, which is that there's a certain identity that shines through with each batch. And I think this batch was much more queer woman oriented. There was a batch recently that was like gay guy, gay guy, gay guy, gay guy. This batch was much more like, we just got back from a big potluck dinner. We made an amazing white bean stew. And my girlfriend, who I'm ethically non-monogamous with, has a question for you guys. And we love the pod.
Well, there was a lot of like representation, and not in the like identity way, like in the way that like someone is speaking for someone else.
Yes.
Someone represents someone else.
I love that.
It was like, my friend loves you and he wonders. And it was sort of like, well, then why can't he pick up the damn phone and call himself?
Well, I sort of like, I like kind of taking the culture of legal representation into your social life and just be like, you know, we should be able to be like, I have a dinner with an acquaintance I don't really want to see. I'm going to send my friend. And then she can kind of be like, yeah, so this is like mostly what George wanted to say. So, and I'll relay back anything you have.
George is loving the Testament of Ann Lee. He has been celibate ever since watching. And he still loves Diet Coke.
It's something that the Testament of Ann Lee didn't quite hit was like, why the connection between celibacy and social justice? Because her two big views were social justice and celibacy.
Yeah.
Who could forget she was the only white person in America against slavery?
She literally saw slaves happening and she was like, I don't like this.
I do not like this. She was like, what?
She was like, hold on. I'm going to call somebody.
But then she didn't really call somebody.
No, she was like, I'm actually going to go to the woods.
She sort of just like protested very briefly on the street and then was like, it is time for us to set up camp.
No, and she was nice to the Native Americans.
That's true.
She was a woke diva.
She was a woke diva.
But it is very she's very, I think I said after we saw the movie, she's very genderqueer.
Oh, definitely.
Where it's like very sex negative, but very social justice forward.
Oh, that's a really interesting point. Yes, she's sex negative.
She's like, no kink at Pride. Actually, no kink at all.
No kink at all and no sex at all.
No sex at all.
But everyone gets, but this is, I'm running my business like a co-op.
Yeah.
Like I'm running.
Everyone's a co-owner.
Yes. Everyone is a co-owner of the social justice coffee shop. And we have like a non-denominational prayer room.
Yeah.
As long as no one hooks up in there, you're fine.
Yeah. Yeah. I also it was so funny how much it's like, as a gay guy, to hear a movie where they say the word mother that much. Yeah. It was like, it's like, sometimes it feels like they're baiting you into making a meme.
I know. Well, this goes back to the Searchlight Pictures conversation. So much of the movie is begging to be memed. And only now are people catching up to that. We're recording January 28th. I just want to, she's been snubbed for the Oscar. No one has seen this film yet. I think now it's getting some traction.
Yeah.
But the fact that there was no meme about Mother, no meme about the dance that they do, no meme about, Charlie from Girls, no meme about the fact that she's like serving the entire time, but playing someone who has, a horrible forehead.
It's weird. It's weird.
We've made memes about much less memeable things, is all I'm saying.
Maybe they were just too heavy-handed with the memeability.
Yeah.
They didn't let you have a sense of discovery.
That's right. That's true. They were too heated rivalry with it.
They went a bit heated rivalry. That's what I'm saying about Ann Lee. Should we get into our calls?
Let's get into our calls.
So we have a million amazing calls.
I can
kick us off.
Hey, Sam and George, hooty hoo. Note here that I did have to pause Lady Gaga's GUI to leave this message. Gay guy question here. I'm going through my photos on my phone in an iCloud. I've got all these pictures of hot men I don't know, dick pics that I don't know for sure who they belong to, and even friends and lovers that I'm no longer close with. What would you glamorous gay guys do? Would you keep these photos or would you delete them? What should I do? I'm just curious. Also, I want to thank and give a big shout out to George for his stand-up special. I watched it while I was sick with the flu. So thank you so much. Bye.
You're saying you watched it when you were sick with the flu, not saying whether you enjoyed it or not. Just saying thank you for providing something for me to look at.
That is so classic.
But, often something you can do is rent my special, A Sense of Urgency, on Amazon or Apple if you have the flu or even if you're healthy.
No matter what state of mind you're in, rent George's special.
That's right. Okay, so this is an interesting question. And I'm going to actually take it a step back. What is your stance on saving other people's nudes?
So this is interesting. The context was a bit unclear to me.
Mm-hmm.
Is he saying he's saving them from like Twitter? Like they're not sent to him directly?
Oh, no, I'm pretty sure they're sent to him directly. And I think he has a spank bank folder where he puts them. He's acquired them consensually. I guess
I say go off.
You say just keep them.
Keep. I mean, as long as you're not like sharing them abroad.
Right.
Like, I think if you're
you never
like,
know when you might need them.
I think it's like, sometimes it's fun when you're like thinking back on your life. Imagine it's The Notebook.
Yeah.
And you're like, what's my life been? And then you can be like, actually, remember that guy's dick?
That's very true. And actually, I would even go so far as to say you should go through them and maybe even journal about them, like write notes about each one, see how you feel, and then do that again once a year and sort of track your own evolving tastes in dicks. And maybe something will bring up a memory and you'll remember who a specific person was.
That would be nice. I mean, I have dick pics that I treasure. Dick pics from like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, isn't it so weird that I can just look at this whenever I want?
Yeah.
And I like that. I'm not sharing it, but I'm saying that's nice to be able to access that. It makes me feel like in the same way when you hear a song from elementary school and you're like, whoa, I'm taken back. I'm back in the backseat of the car.
Or even like looking at an old photo of yourself and seeing something you were wearing that is so of the times in terms of the style and styling even. You can look back and say, oh, that's what I liked then. This was like my favorite one. This dick was my favorite one. Now, not doing much for me.
It doesn't do anything for me, but it's nice to know that I can look at it.
Okay, next question.
Okay. I think I have this one.
Okay.
Hey, Sam and George. I called before from going to Chicago to see George's first show, but I had something happen that is so StraightioLab, or it happened to my son, that I had to call and ask this question. My son is 25, or one of my sons is 25, and he went to New York City to visit former college roommate who lives in Manhattan the week after Christmas. And to thank him for hosting him, he set up a sushi restaurant, omakase meal. So while they were there, an older man in his 40s sent them some sake, and they thought that was really nice. And then my son's friend went to the bathroom towards the end of the meal, and the man came over to my son and was like, introducing himself and saying, hey. And then the man said to my son, like, fuck it, let's go after this and do a bunch of cocaine or a bunch of coke.
Cocaine,
and my son
or a bunch
was like,
of coke.
whoa, okay, no thank you, but thank you for the sake. So when my son told me this, he was just kind of like, oh, New York, wild and crazy. And I was like, I'm pretty sure that guy was hitting on you guys. So you two would be the experts in New York and gay guys. Was my son and his friend getting hit on? Thanks so much. Bye.
Okay, so off the bat, I want to say a couple. First of all, I really enjoyed the scene setting in this call.
Yeah.
Like, I think it was not necessary to know that it was the week after Christmas, that he was staying with a friend, and this was like a thank you dinner. But I really appreciated that we did know that, because it actually painted a picture. And the thing that I most appreciated was that it was a two straight guy omakase dinner.
I love
because there's
that.
actually nothing straighter in New York right now than omakase. I think this even
Really?
happened after you left. If you go on Resi New York right now, all you get is omakase in Union Square.
Wow.
They are multiplying like an STD. It is there is just our omakase places opening left and right, and all of them inside are sort of like solitary foodie types and or like office
Friends.
like coworkers.
Interesting.
And so it's very like 25-year-old in the city, straight guy in the city who wants to have a nice dinner. And don't get me wrong, I love a good omakase.
I love it.
But I like that that's the environment we are navigating here.
So this could go either way. But what I think is very telling is that the time of day it was, which is dinner time.
Yes.
And I think your son was being hit on hard.
I think so as well.
By a chem queen, no less.
Yes, by a chem queen.
I like, because in New York, like I have had an experience where like I've been at, say, a bar in Bushwick and it's like 2 a.m. and I'm waiting in line for the bathroom. Like this guy started talking to me once and he was like, you know, it was his birthday and he was like, just, it's tough. You know, I'm really stressed out. I've got like a kid at home and I never even thought I'd be a dad. And like, this is so like, life is so hard. And like, you know, marriage is already hard and it's so much harder with a kid. And like, this is so, and we're like waiting we're finally, it's our turn to go in. And then he was like, by the way, do you want to go in with me and do cocaine? And I was like, no.
Yeah.
See, he was not hitting on me. He wanted a friend. Yeah. And this, on the other hand, because the guy is so sober and so with it and it's dinner time, he was trying to hit on him.
I think so too. And I also just think, you know, listen, part of the curse of being a straight guy having omakase with your boy is that you are two men having a date. And so it's gonna, maybe, if someone doesn't know about the cultural significance of omakase that I just described, if someone is not familiar with the kind of semiotics of Union Square omakase in New York City in 2025, because this was after Christmas, then they might misread it. And
yeah.
I think that is a really great learning experience for a young straight man to have, is like, how do I act when someone thinks I'm gay? Because I think it's a sign of maturity to not resort to, oh no, dude, I would never do that. I'm not gay. And to just sort of be like, oh, that's sweet, but I'm straight.
Yeah. I also like, God, I remember being like so excited when like random old guys would hit on me, even if I was never going to sleep with them in a million years.
Of course.
I was like, this is so fun. Like, this is such a natural relationship. Like, old guy hits on me. I'm so much younger. I'm 30 years younger than him, 40 years younger than him. And
no, it's amazing. It's one of the best feelings in the world. And if the, you know, age gap flirtation can be one of the most beautiful things in the entire universe.
Yes, absolutely.
As long as there is an unspoken agreement that everyone is actually like in touch with the signs being sent both ways. Because you can even enjoy a flirtation with no desire to do anything after.
Of course.
Even if you are literally attracted to the person. Like, it has nothing to do with that. It just has to do with what's appropriate at any given time. And I think knowing that is one of the biggest parts of being gay.
And you know what? While we're at it, bosses should be able to hit on assistants. Okay, next question. You know, before we go to the next question, something I realized, and we can keep this in, it's going to be really funny to have the video of this where we're both holding up our laptops to the microphone at every call.
I think it'll be fun.
I think it'll be funny.
Hi there. This is for George. Listening to that ep with Julio, I wanted to know, has your life been affected outside of the podcast, of course. But when Julio asked you, or I don't even know if he asked or told you,
I think he
you
told.
look better without glasses, or like, why don't you not wear glasses? I just wanted to know if that, like, completely, I know your podcast personas, you know, I appreciate you are separate from who you are on this podcast.
Barely.
But did that, like, rattle you or impact your day-to-day being? I felt, like, stripped about myself, and I've been constantly thinking, like, do I need to get contacts? But I absolutely love my glasses, but I am like, I mean, they are just naturally an obstruction of my face. And not to make it all about me, but I did want to know, like, that felt so real, and I wanted to know if you, like, in your day-to-day kind of think of that now. Are you seeing yourself wear glasses less, or do you just not give a fuck? Okay, anyways, I love you too, Sam. And maybe just give me your thoughts as well. Bye.
First of all, I just want to say I appreciate that this caller recognizes that we play characters on the podcast, much like Lady Gaga and Joe Calderone, or Beyonce and Sasha Fierce. And it is all fully scripted. We have a lot of script meetings with the execs beforehand, and I think we've been doing a really good job with the storylines recently.
We've never dropped character. It's been so amazing to see our characters grow and change.
I also love that Julio's criticism is so powerful that this listener who has never met Julio, I assume, is having a full-on identity crisis about whether or not you should keep wearing glasses.
Sometimes I actually think it's more powerful to overhear a conversation
Completely.
that, like, somewhat pertains to you than have someone directly tell you.
Well, undoubtedly, because it is completely unfiltered. Like, you hear someone, it's like something simple as hearing someone being like, I mean, one of the most tragic things you can do is wear a green polo. Which, for those not watching, is what I'm wearing now. And then you're like, oh my God, what? No one would ever say that to my face. But that is just like...
And suddenly you're like, oh, I'm naked. Like, suddenly it's like, oh, I have to change fast before anyone notices.
I know.
Whereas if you're already being seen wearing the green polo, you're sort of like, oh, it's no big deal. The worst has happened. I'm wearing it. That is really tough. So
to answer this question, you are correct to point out that it felt like a pretty real moment at the time. And I must say, in the spirit of earnestness, which is what these call-in shows were originally designed to be, I was very taken aback by that interaction. And I felt like when I was trying to sort of like lobby it back to Julio and be like, have you ever considered not dyeing your hair? He wasn't exactly engaging in the same way that I was engaging in a sort of comedic commentary about my persona. Would you agree?
Well, it's so complex. That interaction is obviously so complex because, yes, like Julio is being so direct.
Yeah.
And somewhat toxically direct. But at the same time, he thinks he's giving you like a compliment almost. And he's like thrown off that you think it's not a compliment.
That I think it's an insult. Yeah.
And so he like doesn't even know how to like process what you're saying. It was like watching it, I was like, I'm watching like a fundamental disagreement that is like
it's a disagreement of worldview rather than like opinions.
Yes. And so I was like, this is so interesting.
I know, it really felt like a rip in reality where I was like, oh no, we have fundamentally different ways of viewing the world.
I always think like I somewhat wrongly am like, we're all relatively the same.
Yeah.
No matter our backgrounds, like no matter like I'm sort of like I'm like, well, we're all brought together through comedy and especially comedy in New York City. We all know a similar worldview, whatever. Yeah. And then it's like, nope, not even close.
I mean, this is now not even about Julio, but to your point about comedy, there's something about comedy, stand-up comedy, where you can come at it from completely different entry points. So you can come at it through wanting to be an actor and taking acting classes and discovering this different route of performance. You can come at it because you want to be a writer and you feel like this is a way to like get your writing out there. You can now, especially in this town, people come at it through clowning.
Oh, brother.
Through clowning and sort of like, you can come at it through like the art world and like being like essentially like doing performance art. So, and I think that's not true of many, like that's not true of painters or sculptors or honestly even playwrights. Like there is something specific. It brings such a diverse group of people together. Anyway, has my interaction with Julio changed my view of my glasses? I'm certainly more open to not wearing glasses after that interaction, I will say.
Interesting.
Yeah. And the other reason I got so defensive about that is because specifically with these glasses, I've been wanting to replace them for a while and have like, you know, when you are overwhelmed with choices and you don't know which one to pick. And it's now been fully like years of being like, okay, it's time to change it, time to change them. So for them to be pointed out as a flaw, I was like, oh, so everyone else sees this as well.
That makes sense. That
That was a big part of that interaction.
That makes sense. I will say glasses, because they do become part of one's identity, it's a very difficult thing to switch up.
I know.
I even find with sunglasses, I'm like, I get like, I don't want to switch it up too much because I'm like, well, people won't know who I am because those are my sunglasses. But it's tough. It's tough. I'll play the next one.
Okay.
Hi, Sam and George. I love the pod. First, I want to say I was the girl who dragged my whole family around the Las Vegas Strip to see the meat dress, and it was so worth it. Thanks for putting me on. So my question is, as a lesbian, when I realized I was a lesbian, I figured I had no more use for men in my life in any sort of way. But now I'm kind of in the market for a gay guy BFF. One, do I really need one? And two, how do I get one? Thanks. Bye.
Wow. What a powerful call. We talked sort of about the lesbian who goes to the gay guy trips and like sort of is like, I need gay guys to like actually fucking lose my mind with.
It's the lesbian. It's a specific kind of lesbian archetype, and I feel comfortable theorizing about it because I know multiple of these lesbians, and it's sort of the equivalent of a lesbian being like, I was born in the wrong body, but only party wise. Like she's like, I love women. I'm not like a self-hating lesbian, but I just simply have the stamina of a gay guy when it comes to drugs and alcohol and staying out late.
I've become friends with a lesbian of this ilk.
Oh yes, I've met her.
And she is so to die for. And it's such a nice respite because you get the like hard party, I'm being crazy, I'm being fun. And you get like lesbian like groundedness.
Completely.
And I'm like, it's like every time I see her at a party, I'm like, thank God I can like take a breath.
It's incredible to see her at a party after having like 15 interactions in a row that have felt like everyone is like looking you up and down and trying to like decide what they want from you. Yeah. And then suddenly you're having a genuine interaction with someone that's like asking about your day. And you're like, oh, I didn't know that was an option.
It's so nice. So I think you should get a gay guy BFF or even just find sort of a gay guy friend squad that you can hop into.
Yeah, I think hop into the friend squad and then hang out with them and then find the one you like most. Ask him to like a solo omakase even or, just like a solo drink at a gay bar.
Yes.
And I think it could be really huge. And I really think friendships between lesbians and gay guys are so important.
Of course.
Some of my most foundational and valuable friendships are with lesbians. And I think that there needs to be more reaching across the aisle, especially in an era where gay guys are getting more and more isolated in their own groups because it's easier than ever for them to meet.
Yeah, very, very insular. Yeah, it's nice to see, what fundamental differences are true and which ones are not true.
And the give and take of like having an alternative perspective on relationships, on sex, on culture, on politics. It makes a difference.
Folks, reach across the aisle.
Hey, guys. This is Ray from Seattle. I want to get George's official on the record comment on Athena Dion and her Greek representation this season on the RuPaul's Drag Race. Okay, love you guys. Bye.
So my thoughts on Athena Dion, broadly speaking.
Because again, this will come out in a month or longer.
Yeah, so I have no idea if she's already been eliminated. I have no idea if she's already won the whole season.
Franchise.
I gotta say, I'm imagining the answer to the second one is no. But my thoughts on her are that I think she is literally in like a pageant type way, amazing representation of Greek people because she is clearly very sweet and professional and, wears her heart on her sleeve and is not evil. And so I'm like, wow, like she is this is in the most literal way, good representation where you're like, wow, Greek people are nice.
That's good.
But I think my issue with her is if you're going to be Athena Dion, if you're going to be, Athena is the goddess of wisdom, there's so much imagery that has, there's there's the owl, there's the armor, there's a sort of a toga thing you could do. I'm like, if your thing is Greek goddess, really commit to Greek goddess. Like, have it be in the same way that if you were, I don't know, let's say if you were, oh God, what's like another trope tied to an ethnicity that I am allowed to talk about? Like, you know what I mean?
French, do French.
Yeah, like if you were French and you were Joan of Arc.
Sure.
Go Joan of Arc.
Go Joan of Arc.
If you were, Mexican and you are Frida Kahlo and that's your thing, do the eyebrow, go Frida Kahlo. Like, you're clearly playing with your own ethnic background and doing this kind of like this kind of Greek thing. So like, really go full toga, really go like big costumey. Like, that's sort of what I'm. Or if you want to go the opposite direction, go super elegant and draping toga.
That'd be
vibes.
nice.
And I'm like, you're halfway between Greek goddess and super professional host of the big drag brunch.
Yeah.
Which I know she's known for hosting.
So that's maybe exactly where she wants to be.
I think she needs to split. She's always splitting the difference between host and goddess.
Yeah, it's a tough binary. I mean, talk about a demigod. Is that where you're half human?
Oh my God, she's very demigoddess.
She's a demigoddess.
I think that's the issue with her. She's a demigoddess because she's half host, half goddess. And I think I'm sorry to say, I know. Yeah. I'm sorry to say, but I think she has to get more in touch with her goddess and leave the host identity behind, because a host is not a winner of Drag Race.
That is one of the toughest things, is like when you're in a career and you're like, well, to start, I need to be a host.
I know.
And then she's like, now she's ascending to literally the TV heavens.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, you have to leave that part of you behind. But it's so hard because it's so trained.
Yeah. But I think that she seems really lovely. I love that her thing is being in Mykonos. I think the Mykonos girls have such a difficult task because they are dealing with the most annoying and rancid gay guys 24/7. Like, I know the club where she hosts in Mykonos. Mm-hmm. It is so expensive and overpriced. It is evil gay guys on vacation. Like, to deal with those and maintain your cool and host a show, like, my heart goes out to her.
Well, I also wonder if when you are a Greek queen, is it like in Greece hack to be like, I'm doing Athena, I'm doing the goddesses, I'm doing...
Well, the thing is, she's not performing for Greek people. When she's in Mykonos, she's basically the equivalent of like going to, like a Revolutionary War reenactment and having people dressed as Revolutionary War soldiers. Like, she's performing Greek for non-Greek people. It's cruise ship.
It's cruise ship.
Like,
got it.
It's like going to a Broadway themed drag show and someone is dressed as Elphaba.
Sure.
And so, because otherwise she's based in like Florida, I think. She's not like from Greece.
Yeah.
But I really want to say that I support her, and it's a joy to have her on my television. And I'm excited to see what she does at All Stars.
Okay, next question.
Hootie hoo. I'm a longtime listener, first time caller. My name is Molly, and I'm calling because my childhood bestie, Ray, shout out Ray, who is a huge fan, longtime Glamour girl. We went to see you guys live together in Somerville. Loved it. She's getting lesbian married soon. Woo! Woo! And we're having her bachelorette party coming up in like a week or so. I scoured all your episodes and I didn't see like bachelor parties as a straight topic. So if I missed it, I'm sorry. But to me, it feels so straight. However, at this batch, both brides will be going together and everyone there is basically a lesbian, besides me. And we're also doing one of the straightest things one can even do, aka a PowerPoint party. And I say this as a consultant. But like,
I love this
are
girl.
bachelorette parties still the straightest thing one can do? Have we gone full circle? Are they so straight in the past and now they're kind of camp and it's fun again? what's the verdict here? Just curious what your guys' thoughts are. If this was a topic that's come up and I missed it, I'm so sorry. But yes, going to a lesbian bachelorette party in Miami, by the way, and doing a bunch of really traditional, hetero, in my opinion, batch things. So just thinking about it. Okay, love you all. Hope everything's going well. Bye.
By the way, I just want to say, like, when I think of the StraightioLab listener, it is a straight woman who works in consulting, who's friends with all lesbians and going to a lesbian bachelorette party, and then is overanalyzing. Despite the fact that she's the only non-lesbian, she's the one overanalyzing how heteronormative the bachelorette party is.
That's amazing.
I'm like, I could cry thinking about the fact that, like, she can get entertainment from us talking. Like, can you imagine how difficult it is to find something she likes in the pop culture landscape?
Yeah, those interests are completely insane.
It makes me so happy that, like, we have found the people that we are meant to be talking to, and it's her.
She's doing an amazing job. So we have never discussed bachelor or bachelorette parties. Is that true?
We have had an episode with Natalie Rotter-Laitman about penis straws. Her topic was penis straws. I must admit, it was years ago, and I don't remember how much we really got into the meat of the topic, but I imagine that since the topic was penis straws, bachelorette parties were mentioned.
Of course.
But no, we've never done an episode about bachelorette parties, which, it's funny, it's one of those things, much like, I don't know, various sports, like sports we haven't discussed, that is so obviously straight that it seems a bit on the nose. But I would be down to have, like, a real town hall about the state of bachelorette parties.
I find it so complicated because, you know, sometimes I'm worried I'm literally Ann Lee, where I'm like,
you have a syndrome, a new syndrome, where the patient thinks that he's Ann Lee,
where I'm literally like, well, don't celebrate that. Like, I'm sort of like I get, like, weirdly anti, like, superfluous celebrations.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, that is not, like, it's sort of my, like, want to suffer, where I'm like, well, that is nothing to celebrate until you've earned it.
Well, we both have this in common. It's like how we're uncomfortable with birthdays because we're like, I haven't earned this.
Yeah. And so I'm like, I'm really surprised when LGBTQ plus people do a bachelor or bachelorette party.
Yeah.
Because I'm like in the straight narrative, it makes sense to me because you are, like, in theory, by default, we're monogamous. This is, like, our last wild night as single people. And then we are, like, locked up.
Yeah.
My pathetic cock is in a cage. And this is not, like, for gay people, it's so, like, everything is a conversation. Like, we can be having new partners, you know, 2 years from now or 10 years from now. We're just sort of, like, building our own relationship structure at all points. And I'm sort of like, so why keep this one traditional thing?
I know.
And I get partying. That's fun.
Totally.
But I'm like, but I don't need a reason necessarily.
I know. It makes me think if there's a way to rebrand bachelorette parties as, like, I don't know, in the same way that you would rebrand, like, a funeral as a celebration of life or something.
Yeah.
Like, if there's a way to rebrand it where it's not about chastity and it's not about your last chance to see boobs or your last chance to see a cock. Like, if it's just,
it's like friendship.
Yes. And I think people do that with when people have joint bachelor parties, like a couple has joint bachelor party or joint bachelorette party. I think that is a step towards that, where it's like more of a celebration of community than a celebration of, chastity.
But that to me is the wedding.
I know. It's tough. I think that what happens is, because of the wedding industrial complex, people try to fit in as much around the wedding as possible. Whereas I actually think what we need more of is anniversary traditions.
Yes.
Like, it would be so fun if there was a specific 5-year anniversary party or a specific 10-year anniversary thing, or even like 1 year after a thing where you get a bunch of friends together and get dinner. I'm trying to think, like, I just think there's a way to decouple all the wedding events. And that way you're also not spending so much money all in the span of like a couple of months. You're not asking everyone to do all these favors for you.
Because then by the time it's the wedding, everyone's like sick of your shit.
I know. Well, this is my big thing with bachelor and bachelorette parties. And of course, this is not about anyone I know that has had them. And it's been a joy to attend everyone that I have attended. But I would feel so guilty asking people to do something for me.
Yeah. Like, they also come from a time, like, like when people would like get married earlier. So
Yeah.
it was like, in theory, I think you're like, even if they're like college, like you met your partner in college,
Yeah.
and it's like 2 years out of college. So then all your friends get together again.
Mhm.
And it's like you all kind of live in the same place still. I think there's like, but when everyone's like fully spread out across the country, no
Yeah.
one's in the same place, to travel twice in 1 year for a friend, I'm like, this is crazy to me.
You know what's funny, actually?
Am I a grump?
No, you're not a grump. And this is what I'll say about it. I mean this genuinely, I have never begrudgingly attended a bachelorette party. And personally speaking, as a guest, I'm always like excited that I get to take a trip.
Okay.
However, if I were to do one, my guilt that someone is begrudgingly attending would be so great that I could not enjoy myself. It is much more self-inflicted than like speaking from my own experience as an attendee. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I can't think of a bachelor or bachelorette party I've been to where I've been like, I can't believe this bitch is making me do this. Like, I have to take off of work. Usually it's actually like a nice break. But again, if I did it, I would be legitimately constantly apologizing in a way that would annoy everyone. I'd be like, and thank you. I know that everyone has a lot to do, and thank you so much for being here. And oh no, of course, I'll just like foot this bill. Like, no need to pay. And then I would just make things awkward for everyone.
Yeah, yeah. I'm very like, I'm just gonna go by myself. Like, I'm
Yeah.
gonna go to the beach and like read a book, and you guys have fun.
Or combine it. For example, let's say you're already going to a P-Town trip, and you have it every year. Let's say it's the year that you're getting married. Do a big dinner, and that's the bachelor dinner.
Yeah.
Or let's say, you are going to a music festival. Make that the bachelor party. Like, take something that's already celebratory and just like put a little sash on. Have a nice time, because it does make a difference.
Yeah. With this call in particular, I do hope, I don't know how much lesbians like fetishize straight culture.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I do know how much gay guys do, and I like could think it's funny for gay guys to like go golfing or something like really straight guy. I could see how that would be sort of erotically charged even and fun, but I don't know if that's what this lesbian is getting out
I don't know if that's what this lesbian is doing, but I do think lesbians fetishize straight culture. Fetishize is the wrong word. I don't think it's erotic for them. I think it is like funny and camp. Like I could imagine lesbians I know being like, how funny would it be to literally have a penis straw at my bachelorette party and to like have a sash that says bride in like Pinterest font. And to answer the question about whether bachelorette parties are still straight or if they're camp, they're still straight.
Yeah, they're still
like
straight.
They're obviously camp viewed from a distance, but like, I hate to say this, like when you see a group of, blonde women that are at a bachelorette party, they are evil. Like there's something in their eyes. They are out for blood.
It's scary.
It's scary, and it's honestly scarier than men at a bachelor party.
I agree.
Like a group of lightly drunk women in a limo that are going from one event to another in Nashville, they will murder you. And it's very rare that women are more evil than men.
And they'll never find your body.
They'll never find your... They are organized. By the way, because one of them, it's like Rebecca, and she's the one with the spreadsheet. And she's like, okay, so we did murder someone. Here's step one. And she's like, just cut up the arms and legs.
The ravine is on the way to the club, so we can just drop it in the water.
We can just drop it off. Meanwhile, the limo driver is right there, but all of them are like, he's not going to say anything.
Right?
No, I think that... it's really scary what happens. It's really scary what happens psychically. And it makes you think, what if women were able to channel that into like maybe assassinating a political figure?
Well, we need more female assassins. I've always said this.
It's true.
Just don't assassinate Amanda Seyfried.
No, stick to like evil guys. Go Kill Bill mode. Although I have to say, she was not a girl's girl. She assassinated all her female friends as well.
Maybe she's an equal opportunity offender.
That's right. Kill Bill. Beatrice Kiddo was the first equal opportunity offender.
So what's going on with George's hair? Did he get hair transplant? Or has he just been doing bald guy stolen valor for like all this time? We need to know. Bye-bye.
Okay. Well,
Love this call.
I just want to say I did not get a hair transplant, but I have absolutely no judgment to those who do. Some of my best friends legitimately have gotten them in the recent past. And actually someone I know, and I won't say who, went to Greece to get one recently, which I didn't even know it was discounted in Greece. I had heard of Turkey, but I'd never heard of Greece.
Of course I knew Turkey. And I've even heard South Korea.
Oh, that's interesting. What about North Korea? I've also now heard through someone else who I'm not going to mention. There's a person in LA that 3 people we know have gone to.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
2 of them have been on this podcast.
What?
Yeah.
I love that. First of all, I love you being accused of this.
I know.
I also think it does speak to the like normalizing of it. I think it used to be such a weird, crazy thing. And now it's like everyone I know is a hair transplant influencer.
I love that it's normalized.
Yeah, me too. It's cool.
I think I worry sometimes about some of the results that I'm seeing.
Really?
There are some hairlines. I think people are getting a little too confident and being like, what if the hairline is like an inch from my eyebrows? It's like, well, you have to, it has to still look normal.
Stick to the rivers and the lakes that you're used to.
That's correct.
Yeah.
So I did not get a hair transplant, and I would, I would assume that would be obvious based on the fact that it has happened gradually. Sort of not all at once.
Well,
but yeah, I just sort of, and by the way, I was never stealing bald valor because I was never bald. It was a buzz cut. I was a buzz cut, and you could see the hair on top. It was just buzzed.
It is interesting. I think maybe you're underestimating like the way it was short, like the way it was buzzed. It did look like maybe it's like a balding thing, and you're just like getting ahead of it.
I must say one thing, which is that already I look at photos of myself from the last 8 years, and I'm like, I can't believe I looked like that for 8 years. I feel so much. I actually think I look so much better with long hair, and it's crazy that for whatever reason I decided for 8 years. It was like inertia. It was just kind of like, okay, well, this is what I do. This is what I ask for when I get a haircut. It seems like such an ordeal to grow it out. And I'm like, why the fuck was I doing that?
I mean, it looked good for the record.
Well, I think day to day I felt like I looked fine, but even now, I mean, I'm forced to constantly watch clips of myself because I'm promoting the special, and I'm like, that looks like I should have hair.
I mean, it wasn't seeing your hair now. I'm like, it was an interesting choice.
Totally.
I mean, I knew you had hair, but I was like, but maybe like I was like, because you would describe it like, oh, it's so difficult because it's so thick.
Yeah.
And now I'm seeing it. I'm like, it's not that difficult.
It's literally fine.
Like it's normal hair.
I know. I think what it was is the last time I really had longer hair, I was younger and more insecure in general. And every little thing that was imperfect, I was like, oh, well, I look bad. Like this looks bad. I need to figure out the right haircut. And now I'm kind of like, I'm aware that it's sort of uneven and I don't have product in it, and I don't care.
Yeah.
And no one notices.
I mean,
and it's more affordable, by the way. I was getting haircuts every 2 weeks.
Oh, and I know you weren't going cheap. I've had this happen before where someone who like is bald presenting, like suddenly just grows their hair out. And it does freak me out. Like I get why people are like, wait, what?
It's also, I have to say, it is, hair in general is something that like makes people excited. Like I've never gotten, every single time I post anything, I get 15 DMs that are like, okay, hair, okay, hair. What's going on with your hair? Oh, hair looks fab. Hair looks amazing, by the way. And I think the same thing would happen if I were to go the other way around. If you were to buzz your head, people would be like, okay, love the buzz.
Interesting.
It's like, because you know what it is? I'm having this realization. It's one of the few appearance-based things that is morally neutral.
We're still allowed to comment on.
Literally. You can't talk about someone losing or gaining weight. You can't talk about someone getting plastic surgery. You can't talk about, like, it really is one of the very, very few things that is safe.
Yeah. If only we could get taller and shorter, then we could talk about that.
Well, stream materialists.
Wow. Okay.
Okay, so I already sent another one, but I stuttered and I hung up, and I don't know if you actually got it, and I'm scared. But I'm going to ask the same question. So Zendaya is going to be in a lot of movies this year, and a lot of people are already predicting that there's going to be discourse asking why she's in every movie. Is there any conversation that's already happened in the past that you see making a comeback this year?
Sorry,
Okay,
a
bye.
lot of people are predicting there is going to be discourse about Zendaya being in too many movies. Is one of the most amazing gay guy sentences I've heard in my life. He's like, I'm monitoring the situation, and the markets are saying that there is going to be discourse. I repeat, there's going to be discourse about Zendaya being in too many movies.
It's also Trump. It's gay guy Trump.
It's gay guy
a lot
Trump.
of people are saying there's going to be a lot of
So amazing to confidently be like,
a lot
this
of
is
people.
just, I want everyone to be prepared. A lot of people are saying there's going to be discourse about Zendaya being in too many movies. That aside, what discourse do you think is going to make a comeback?
I mean, it's all dark.
Sure.
Like, discourse is never fun.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of a playful discourse.
Right. Well, I mean, one of the big ones that's making a comeback is like, is racism good or bad?
One of the big ones that's coming back is like not seeing enough people posting about this.
Oh, true.
In a way where I'm like, I cannot believe we're doing that again.
I know.
Like, even being like I saw a tweet. This is kind of informed by a tweet, but somebody was like, shared like a Billie Eilish thing where she's like, looking to my other celebrities, why aren't people posting? And somebody was like, it's such an American concept for people wanting celebrities specifically
completely
to like post.
Yeah.
Because it's like, it obviously this is like a very important time and we need to like be making our voices heard, but there's more ways to make your voice heard than just posting to stories. And and so it's like such a funny, like, they didn't post the stories, they don't care.
Yeah.
And it's like, we went through this already and it was so clearly the wrong way of thinking.
Completely.
And I think we learned that. I thought we did.
Yeah.
And it's so back. It's so back.
You know what's related to that is critiquing wearing a pin to an award show.
Yeah.
And I think being like, well, a pin means nothing, or posting a block of text or something means nothing. It's like, yes, it is a show of solidarity. It's like it's like having a bumper sticker. Like no one is arguing that a pin is going to make material change.
Yeah.
In fact, you're the dumb one for assuming that's what they thought they were doing. Like if a celebrity is wearing a ice out pin at Sundance, that is just a small gesture they are doing to show that they care.
Yeah.
And that's it. It is not worthy of critique.
Well, it's sort of like it's like the conversation around like corporate pride, which I do think has like very much died down.
Yeah.
And part of that is obviously because corporations were like, okay, we're going to stop, like, fascism's back. We're not doing pride anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And so now it's like this whole thing of like, now I wonder if the discourse that will come back is being like, we need corporations to support pride again.
I know.
Which is like, it is one of those things where it's like both sides of that critique are stupid.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know what is right.
Yeah. In terms of discourse coming back, I also want to say I have done something really shocking recently, which is that I joined Threads. I'm not posting on it or using it really, but what happens is when you're scrolling on Instagram, you'll get a suggested one and curiosity will get me, and then I'll click on it and then it'll take me to the Threads homepage.
Curiosity has almost gotten me.
And then I'll scroll for maybe 2 minutes. And the things that are happening in Threads are shocking.
Yeah.
I don't know how to even express what I'm seeing. It is like a bacchanal of sort of, it's like cancel culture drag. It's like no one's heart is in it, but every single hour they are canceling a new person. It is so weird. And of course, it's kind of like 50-50. Like 50% of the time I'm like, oh, sure, this person sucks. 50% of the time it's like completely random. But the tone is the same. And it's almost like people are ravenous for that kind of like gladiator-like environment again.
Yeah. It was like a brain exercise. Like it was like fun to sort of examine why or why not someone should be canceled. It's like freelance lawyering.
Completely.
Like you're like, oh, I can like look at this thing they posted in 2017, but then look at what they didn't say this.
Yeah.
And it's like, so confirmed case, they are bad.
There's also, I don't know how people don't get that they're coming across, even if they are in the right morally, the act of like making a 3-minute video explaining why someone is bad, you are engaging in the logics of social media that are ruining the world. Like you are like occupying this like Real Housewife in a confessional tone that is quite simply not how anything will be solved.
It's
definitionally,
it's not how anything will be solved.
Like you are succumbing to the kind of behavior that the algorithm wants you to succumb to, and you think you're being the good one.
Yeah.
And it like is enough to make me like, people were coming for Whitney Cummings because she said something about Miss Rachel. So that sort of goes to show you where we are time-wise right now.
And to be fair, Whitney Cummings is kind of off the deep end.
No, completely. But that's the thing is like, we know she's off the deep end.
Yeah.
Okay. She has been off the deep end for years.
Yeah.
It is concerning.
Yeah.
However, what happens is she'll say something and then people are like, oh, perfect. This is an amazing entryway for me to actually do my big monologue about how Whitney Cummings is off the deep end.
Yeah.
But then you're doing your 3-minute monologue and you sound like a crazy person.
Yeah.
Because you sound like you're hearing voices.
And then she shares it and is like, actually, that's not what I meant. And you're like, she's like bolstering her fan base. It's just all like, you're all playing into the game.
Completely. You can be the good one, but you have to recognize you are still the good one within a reality show that is produced by Lucifer.
His name is Mark Zuckerberg. So that was amazing.
Okay.
But for the record, post, everybody.
For the record, post. Please share our reels.
Never stop posting.
Repost our tour dates.
Yes. Comment.
Oh my God! Please like and comment.
Just get our engagement up.
Yeah, we need to get our engagement up.
Seriously, you guys, comment. That's why George is growing out his hair, to get engagement up.
Hey, George.
Shout out.
This is Patrick up in Duluth, Minnesota. Got a wedding-related question if you feel like you haven't delved into that too much. My boyfriend and I have been together for
is his voice
a
turning
number
on?
of years.
Yeah, I have a boner.
Did take the plunge recently and buy a house together. So most people assume, or a lot of people assume, that wedding is next, or even a lot of people assume that we are already married. And we're not in a huge hurry, but honestly, when I think about the idea of marriage, getting married, being married, one of the more exciting ideas is the possibility of, incorporating some tasteful jewelry into our respective looks, i.e. wedding bands. So I was wondering how you two have navigated that in your respective married lives, because obviously a wedding band is traditionally a symbol of a man and a woman being married, and it seems like traditional wedding bands are different for men and women, but for gay guys or...
Is that the end of the call?
Oh, I think that's the end of the call.
Huh.
Well, maybe he got cut off, but first of all, shout out to Duluth, Minnesota. Oh, and shout out to Minnesota in general. That's all I'll say.
Yeah. Yeah. Shout out to Minneapolis, of course.
Maybe. Yeah. We'll cut that. Okay. So basically, what is our relationship to our wedding bands?
So I agree that it is like one of the more appealing parts of marriage.
I love it.
It's like one of the, it's like, first of all, inherently hot. It implies that you're married.
It implies that you're married. That's something people don't tell you about wedding bands.
And when you are a man wearing one, it sort of implies you're straight.
Yeah.
So it's sort of like, who's this straight guy touching me?
It's so, like, I can't describe how much I love wearing a wedding band. It has like changed my entire swagger, especially like at the gym, taking it on and off and putting it in my locker. I know you're someone who lifts with it on.
I leave it on.
But like I worry about scratching it, so I'll take it off and then I'll put it back on in the locker room and I'll see people being like, oh, what's going on there? I thought he was pretty queenie in the weight room.
This whole time he's married to a woman.
Her name is Amber. And they live in Duluth, Minnesota.
I love this. I just have to go back. I love that gay guys live in Duluth.
Oh my God. It's the biggest dream I can imagine.
I have like my cousins and aunt and uncle live in a suburb of Minneapolis, and one of them went to college in Duluth, and I was always like, Duluth, now what's going on there? And I've of course never been, but I'm like, to hear that gay guys live there.
Yeah.
I'm like, I need to go on a vacation there.
We should go to Duluth. We need to do a mini tour of just different venues in Duluth.
I absolutely need that. I and the way that I want to draw this man. Send us a photo of what you look like.
Okay. I want to address, I went thin with my wedding band, you went thick. And I think each of them suits us. And there's neither is better. I just think like you were meant to go thick and I was meant to go thin.
Well, and to be fair, I mean, you probably put more thought into it. I sort of like tried on like 2 and was like, sure.
Me too.
Yeah. And I was like, I almost, I mean, I don't think I would make a different decision if I thought about it more, but I wish I had thought about it more so I could say like, I thought for weeks about what the right size is.
No, I thought, to be honest, I wouldn't say I regret my decision, but the more time passes, the more I'm like, maybe I should have gone thicker. My thing was like, this is so gay guy insecurity. I was sort of like, if I go too thick, it'll be like I'm being no homo. It'll be like I'm being like, I'm gay married, but I'm masculine.
Yeah.
And so I have to embrace my femininity and just like be comfortable going like almost like women's thickness.
Yeah.
But I do think there is more gravitas to a thicker band. I will say
it.
I don't love non-traditional wedding bands.
If you're going to do it, get a traditional one. You're going to regret it. If you get a funky one,
don't get a steampunk one.
I'm sorry. The thing that's tough about talking about this, it's sort of the glasses conversation all over again. There's so many people that just do have these.
Of course. And they're listening and they're like, what the fuck?
And they're like, I'm committed to this for essentially my life.
Completely. And also we're doing the thing where they're overhearing a conversation.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, that means even more than someone telling me to my face.
So I'm actually trying to be respectful, but at the same time, if you're starting new, first of all, whatever decision you made is right for you and your family.
Exactly.
But if you're starting new, I would say go traditional. I think you will not regret it. Up there in Duluth.
Yeah, I agree. That would be my suggestion if you are a gay guy with a really hot voice that lives in Duluth.
Okay. Put us on the close friends.
Hey, Sam and George. I'm wondering, what do you think stand-up can teach other art mediums, and what can other art mediums teach stand-up? Thanks. Bye.
Okay, I actually have an answer off the top of my head for this.
Great.
Something I really like about stand-up is that there's no such thing as legitimate stand-up and outsider art stand-up. Like, any stand-up you see counts as stand-up basically just as much.
Yeah.
Whereas if you are a painter, you sort of have to be like represented by a gallery and showing at shows that are covered by the art press to be like, okay, well, that's the art world. And then there's outsider art, which is a different thing. And it's like maybe like more punk rock and more, you have to like really look to find it. And there's like a difference. And I think kind of same with theater, where there's theater that's in major theaters, and then there's like, someone doing like an underground thing at like an event space and their, cousin does the lighting or whatever. There's something about stand-up where even if you're at an open mic in a bar in Queens, that legitimately just is stand-up.
Yeah.
So
that's true.
There's an egalitarian ethos. And I'm not saying that the people that are successful don't suddenly make like a shit ton of money and there's like inequality and stuff, but like, there is something, I think also the lack of training goes into this. Like there's no such thing as like an MFA in stand-up.
Yeah, that's cool.
And so I think the kind of anything goes ethos, I think could be useful in other art forms.
I like the anything goes ethos. I like the, what I think other mediums could learn is the sort of like work in progressness of stand-up.
Yes, completely.
Where it's like any night you can be like, I'm going to try like these two things and see if there's anything there. Like trying things in front of people. And I know you can't like paint in front of people, but I do think there's something so freeing about the immediate knowing if it's like expressing the way you thought it would in your mind. And that's my favorite part. And I wish that other mediums could experience that.
Yeah. I mean, I also think engaging with your audience in a more direct way is an exciting part of stand-up that I don't know necessarily if I want every art form to adopt, because I think it's kind of nice to have more timeless art that isn't like directly engaging with only the points of view of people present in one room.
Yeah.
In terms of things stand-up can learn from other art forms.
Well, it's kind of the opposite for me, where it's like
edit.
And even like presenting like a finished product.
Yes.
I really do struggle with that myself because it's always so everything is like, well, I could switch this and I could switch this and that. Who knows? In 2 years, maybe I'll have something for that. And I really respect that other art forms go away.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, I'm working on this idea for 2 years and then I'm putting it out.
Yes. And now it's the big launch.
Yeah.
We're having like the opening. There's like little glasses of champagne. This is the body of work that I have been working on for the last like 9 to 18 months.
And the other thing is like sort of ignoring almost audience reaction sometimes and being like, it's more important that I'm expressing myself than that I'm getting a bigger audience. Whereas like stand-up is so not that.
Yeah, no, I think that's true.
And you can see it when people get addicted only to audience reaction.
Yeah.
They like forget who they are.
By the way, I want to say something about stand-up that I like is, unless you're like, you know, taping a special or something, usually you're not the only person on a lineup. Even if you are touring by yourself, you'll have an opener, or there'll be like, in a comedy club, there'll be like a host and then an opener and then you. And then, of course, in most stand-up shows, if you're not like a big celeb, it's like a lineup that's anywhere between like 4 to 7 people.
Mm-hmm.
And there is a communal element that I think, especially other writers don't have.
Yeah.
Like it's so many other forms of art are very isolating because you're like by yourself creating. And you have no feedback. You have no one backstage being like, that bit was really good. What if you added that at the end?
Yeah.
So that's kind of nice.
No, that is nice.
Hey boys, it's Kevin from San Diego. First, I just want to say that you guys are looking especially hot recently. So congratulations.
Thanks. It's my hair
B
transplant.
of all, I was hoping that you would weigh in on a prompt I was discussing with my boyfriend, which is
Disgusting.
how do we order forms of protest on the spectrum of straight to gay? We decided that signs on a highway overpass are straight, donations to the ACLU are gay guy, and rest as an act of resistance is NB demisexual. What would y'all add?
Damn.
That
Got
is
their
funny.
ass.
Shout out.
Interestingly, I actually think this hot voice is more George coded and the Duluth hot voice is more Sam coded.
Well, of course. This hot voice is funny because it's one of my favorite types of gay guy, which is like exasperated already and like, I'm so tired of what I'm saying.
No, it's also just like, sorry, my brain is going a mile a minute because I'm so smart and like I could explain further, but you probably wouldn't get it. But this is like kind of the basic level of what I'm saying. And like, you know, obviously there's like a lot more going on up there
Just
and
to
it's
dumb
my
it
curse.
down a
It's the
bit.
reason why I wasn't able to finish grad school because I thought too much.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have this, I made a little list on my Uber on the way here of different forms of protest.
Okay.
And I want to read it and we can, okay, so this is what I have. This is in no particular order. Attending a rally or march.
Okay.
Community organizing.
Okay.
Domestic terrorism.
Okay.
Radical self-care. Posting an infographic. Donating to a nonprofit. Donating to a GoFundMe. Canvassing for a political candidate. Reading a book. Sharing a reading list. Participating in a boycott. And finally, presenting an academic paper at a conference called Subaltern Bodies, Subterranean Spaces. And so maybe we could...
Well, that's a giant list.
I know. We can't really... I don't want to rank them, but maybe we go one by one and just do like straight, gay, or bi.
One that jumped out to... Okay, yeah. Let's go through them and rank.
Okay,
straight, gay,
attending
bi.
a rally or march, to me, that's straight, but not in a bad way. Just like in a like 60s, you know, like we're protesting the Vietnam War.
Yeah, and you're like bringing your kid and it's like, this is fun. And the kid is like dressed up as, I don't know.
It's like family friendly. It's wholesome. It's also very much like it is our right as Americans to protest. It's like it's a patriotic duty to protest.
It's a mini 4th of July.
Yes. Okay. Community organizing, gay.
Gay.
It's communal. It is like non-hierarchical.
It's also like, first we're going to all get together and like serve soup. Then we go to the party.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay. It's also so inclusive.
Yes.
Okay. Domestic terrorism. This is a tough one. Because I think on the one hand, you have like one battle after another. Leo being so kind of like toxic guy. But then
I think domestic terrorism is straight.
Yeah, I think so too.
Because gay people, like, they're like all talk. Gay people are like, I'm going to blow that building up.
Completely.
And then it's like, okay, like, when do you want to do it? And they're like,
I have dinner.
Yeah, they're like, my gym membership actually is like goes until the end of the year, so I don't want to do it until that's over.
I want to get my money's worth before I blow up the big data center. I think I
Like,
completely
straight
agree.
people are kind of willing to throw it all away in a different way.
Yes, and I also think what we're saying is like morally neutral, but I also just simply think thinking about things in a warlike way is straight.
Yeah.
Okay. Radical self-care. Okay. Obviously that's gay.
Well, because gay people have this thing, which I love, where they're like, well, I already came out of the closet. Like, do you know how hard it was for me in high school?
Completely.
So now, like, when things are really hard, like the most radical thing I can do is like wash my face.
Yes. And also on the other side of things, of course, there was also the stereotype of like, I'm sorry, but a liberal white woman reading Audre Lorde and getting all the wrong, drawing all the wrong conclusions from it and being like, going to get a massage and then a pedicure and then a facial is basically like blowing up a data center.
Yeah.
So it can be straight in that way.
That's true.
Okay. Posting an infographic. This is tough.
This is tough because it's everyone. I'm trying to think who I see do this more.
I know.
In like the negative way. Like, who does it wrong?
I'll tell you who's not posting an infographic. Straight men.
Yeah.
It's mostly straight women and the LGBTQ plus. Straight men are posting infographics, but they're about like basketball stats. They're like, can you believe this is the first guy to ever have this many blah, blah, blah in the off season?
Yeah, you're right. I think the infographic doesn't like fit with their eyes in the same way.
There's something, even though you would think an infographic, because it's data-based and numbers-based, is more masculine, because, of course, men can only understand things when they're numbers. But I think what it is that infographics are always a little misleading.
They tell a story.
They tell a story. So it's much more storytelling than just bar chart.
Yeah.
So maybe it's straight woman?
Maybe it's straight woman.
Okay. All right. Donating to a nonprofit versus, this is easy. Donating to a nonprofit is straight. GoFundMe is gay.
Yes. Yes.
Canvassing for a political candidate.
That is straighter, I think.
I think that's straight in the way that attending a rally or march is straight. I think
it still like believes in the system.
Believes in the system, which again,
good.
You should canvass for a progressive candidate you believe in, but it is a respectable way to get involved.
Yeah.
Reading a book. and versus sharing a reading list. Those are sort of the two that we are.
Sharing a reading list to me is actually straighter.
I agree.
Because it's Dua Lipa.
Completely.
And
reading a book
is like gay reading because it's a Dua Lipa fan.
Exactly. Reading a book without posting about it, that's like tender queer.
Yeah.
It's like I'm actually, I really, it's not performative and I really believe in this and I want to learn.
I just want to be better.
I'm in grad school. I'm like doing my book club. And I've also, the scary thing of, I actually saw something on social media, took it to heart, and I'm now going to do the homework.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm almost done. Participating in a boycott.
This is interesting.
Yeah, it's tough.
So at the time we're recording, there's the boycott is supposed to be on Friday.
Oh, the general strike.
General strike.
Yes.
Which is different.
I guess maybe we could add maybe we could add participating in a strike. Boycott is interesting because it's like the implication is like put your money where your mouth is. Boycott to me reminds me of like, for example, gay guys canceling their Equinox subscriptions because the CEO is right wing. Also, it's, in a more meaningful way, it's people participating in BDS. It is saying like, I am making a choice that materially impacts a company that is on the wrong side of things.
Boycotting at this point, the way that, part of the issue with our world is the way that it works is that like all the corporations are so gigantic that literally getting like, let's say 5,000 people to cancel their subscription does not affect them at all. They literally won't notice.
Completely.
And so it is confusing because before, like, a boycott is an amazing way if you're like, this factory in town produces this thing that's bad. We're all going to boycott it. Now I'm like, so wait, we'd have to get like 1 million people to cancel this for them to notice at all.
I know. It's funny. One of the elements of the concentration of wealth is that a boycott of a small business works much better than the boycott of like a large corporation. So like, let's say there's a small coffee shop that is being accused of having bad labor practices, but it's owned by 3 people and maybe one of them is evil, but like ultimately they are doing their best. That will be shut down by a boycott.
Oh yeah.
But then like Amazon will never be shut down by a boycott.
It's obviously, and I'm sorry to be like cynical, but it's like, it's why things are so bad. Like it's so hard to make an impact.
I know.
And I think it's good that people are trying, of course. But I'm sort of like,
and I'll do anything.
Well, the other thing is when people are like, I'm sorry, when people are like, we're boycotting on Friday, not the strike, when there was like, we're doing a boycott this day, I'm like, well, who's buying that much every day? Like, I personally, like, every day is a boycott. Like, I shop so little. I'm sort of like, I'm not like, it's literally no material sacrifice
completely
for me to boycott on a given day.
Yeah. I did have a moment, I was like, during the Starbucks strike, when people were like, boycott Starbucks during the strike, I was like, well, that's a simple enough thing. And I was like really taking it to heart. And then I was at the airport and there was like a giant line at Starbucks. I was like, do these people not read the news? But it was like, I was just like right there in black and white. I was like, nothing I'm doing matter. Like this is.
Yeah.
There was another coffee shop right next to Starbucks. Like you could have just gone to that one.
We live in a damn bubble. It also is like, I thought it was so funny. I mean, this was like, what, 2 months ago when this was happening?
Yeah. I think we were on tour, or I was on, I was traveling for work, and I was like, it was always a struggle not to, martyr myself, but it was always a struggle at every airport because the only thing they have is Starbucks, to find like a non-traditional coffee place.
I thought it was so funny. People that like live in LA.
Yeah.
Like were posting like their non-Starbucks coffee. I mean, like, y'all, it's not that easy, y'all. Like, we got to get out there and not buy Starbucks. And I was like, you're living in a city and you're buying Starbucks? Like, I'm sorry, but
Starbucks is for airport.
Why did you buy that ever? Like, I was like, this is like, you're actually revealing something deeper and more insidious, which is that you go to Starbucks when you live in
your
fucking
Starbucks
Los
drinking
Feliz.
reveals something evil and more sinister. What is the quote from Anatomy of a Fall?
Yeah.
Reveals something selfish.
Oh, I forget.
Oh,
but
God.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll put the clip in here. No, I was, I had to really laugh at myself because as this was happening, I was like, well, this is impacting me more than anyone because I'm at airports. Like if I was at home, I would never be forced to make the choice.
George should have gotten extra points for boycotting harder.
Extra Starbucks points even. I'll send you my my user ID. Okay, and then last one is, of course, presenting an academic paper at a conference called Subaltern Bodies, Subterranean Spaces.
LGBT.
That's LGBTQ+.
You guys, I'm pro the strike, by the way. I'm pro like all of it.
Yeah, I sometimes worry that because we like to make fun of people similar to us, we come across as
our bubble.
Yeah, we come across as somehow like rejecting the consensus of the bubble. You will not find 2 gay guys more pro boycotting and striking than us. We are literally ready to start the revolution at any second. Just let us know, send the signal, and we will be there.
And I just let me know soon because I have to cancel my gym membership before the 15th.
Yes. And I didn't want to cancel mine because it would have been performative. And so I actually am sort of stuck in my current plan until the end of the year.
Maybe cut this too, but I'm like, with the strike, like,
yes.
I have to confess something that I said that was completely insane.
Please.
But I was like, we're like, it's like, don't buy anything and don't go to work. And I'm like, so are restaurants open? Like, I was like, they're not doing anything wrong, right?
You would hope that they would be closed because all the workers would be strike. Like if enough people, it's not that you're thinking about it as a consumer.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? You're thinking like,
well, that's because I can't not go to work. I don't have a job to go to on Friday.
That's an interesting point that I hadn't considered. But yeah, I think it's like, it's less like our restaurants open and more like if it succeeds, no one will go to work. Therefore, the economy will be shut down.
Mm.
So
Well, I
maybe
hope
get
it
a
works.
little ceramic pour over thing for your coffee because
Oh, look, I make my own coffee now. It's the food I'm worried about. I'm going to starve to death.
Hi. I was just thinking if you had ever considered what Lizzo's past is for actresses, and I'm specifically thinking about Sydney Sweeney versus Mikey Monroe. Kind of obvious there, and like what that would be. What is Lizzo's past for actresses? Okay, love you. Bye.
Well, Diva, we have some bad news. It's Mikey Madison, not Mikey Monroe. So I think you answered your own question there.
I want to say this podcast, you know, on one hand, it's about straight culture. On the other hand, it's about New York versus LA. On a third hand, even, it's about not knowing actors and actresses' names.
Yes. And on the fourth level, it's just about Lizzo's past.
So
every time we get a lot of Lizzo's past calls. We did get one about whether Cat's Eye is the fastest act ever to choose Target and whether they were ever at Lizzo's past. We don't know enough about Cat's Eye to comment on that, but we can comment on whether actresses have Lizzo's past. What is your take as the inventor of Lizzo's past?
I think they definitely do. But the thing with them is it's confusing because Sydney Sweeney, for example, like I think it's so easy to be like, she's Target because she's doing like every ad possible. Like she is doing ads for products I didn't even know existed. But then she'll also be in like the weirdest movie where it's like she plays a lesbian wrestler and
boxer, I think.
That's it, boxer. I forget they're different. And that no one on earth sees.
And she was the reality winner. Are you
and
kidding
she was
me?
reality winner. Like I'm sort of like Lizzo's past is more complicated for them.
Here's the complicated thing with actresses. It is actually much easier for your artistic output to be completely different than your pop culture celebrity output as an actor than it is as a musician.
Yes.
If you're a musician, if you're a Chappell Roan and you do a Target ad, that really is going to affect your brand and how people perceive your music. Every prestige actress that has won an Oscar also does a perfume, a Lancome campaign, also does a Super Bowl commercial where she like reunites with someone she was in a teen movie with. I didn't even know this, but I just saw that Kirsten Dunst and Gabrielle Union did an ad where they like reunited for Bring It On.
Oh, I didn't know
And it was
this.
like for Google or something. Like that does not affect either of their brands in any way.
No.
So I think Sydney Sweeney is someone who flew too close to the sun because she counted on that precedent. She was like, well, I can be a reality winner and be a lesbian boxer and also do nail polish and bath soap. But she like did one too many and it like fucked her up.
I mean, she did so many, it even affected her other brand endorsements.
Yeah.
Where I was like, well, you can't love jeans that much because you also love shoes that much. Like at some point you're like loving too many things and I like don't believe you.
Yeah. It's actually very rare that someone's brand life is coordinated super well with their art. I think Gwyneth Paltrow is a really good example of someone who somehow has managed to have a coherent brand and maintain like as an actor and as a public figure. But then of course the other thing with actors versus musicians is that you don't create your own material as an actor.
Right. And you almost are lauded for being like, I can't believe they were able to look like this.
Exactly.
Like if you actually look shitty in an ad and you're doing an ad for like Play-Doh or something and you look like a loser, then you're in like a prestige movie. People are almost more impressed because they're like, oh, I thought they were a loser.
Yeah.
They actually
completely.
are a lesbian boxer.
There is just way more, there was just much more flexibility. However, that said, that's why it's more shocking when someone manages to fuck it up so much that they choose Target. I'm trying to think of a good example. Like,
I have a kind of one.
Okay.
You know whose Target is Kristen Bell? Yeah. And,
but it works for her.
It works for her.
I wouldn't say that's unintentional. I don't think Kristen Bell wants to be a lesbian boxer.
It's definitely the goal, but it's confusing because at first, like being Veronica Mars,
yes,
it was like, wow, this is like an interesting character, an interesting show. It's kind of niche, but it's also mainstream. And it's wow, how is this happening? And then so quickly it was like, oh, you want to literally be a Target commercial at all times.
You know who's like that is Mark Wahlberg. Like, he started in Boogie Nights. Like, if he had gone a different direction, he could have been like, I guess the comparison would be like a Leo. Because he wouldn't have been an indie darling. He would have still been like mainstream star, but in prestige movies. And he decided, you know, because he's so crazy, like that he's going to commit to being Target.
And a Pitchfork person who could have gone Target and was like almost going Target.
Yeah.
Nick Cage.
Yes.
He easily could have been like...
I would even say he chose Target and then went back to Lizzo's past,
he
chose
was like,
Pitchfork.
now in Pitchfork.
Yeah. I think also Emma Stone did that. I think Emma Stone went full Target with Easy A and like all her early... And Crazy Stupid Love, are you kidding me? Imagine her doing that now. And then just walk right back and said, never mind. I actually wanted to go this way. She did a quick U-turn.
Yeah. The
Amanda Seyfried, from Mamma Mia to Testament of Anne Lee.
I mean, amazing point.
Yeah.
I think it's just the path, Lizzo's path for actors is not nearly as icy or treacherous, and you can actually just sort of walk back and forth.
It's a different, like, part of the game.
Yeah.
Like, it's a different video game. With musicians, it's like, it really is Chappell Roan in full armor, like going through
hard
woods
to get through.
And it's hard to get through. And there are like snakes, and there's trickster figures that can accidentally like give you a stink ball and then it blows up and suddenly you find yourself a target.
Yeah.
Whereas, you know, with actors, it's much more of like a seamless, it's very like paved streets.
Yes.
You're in like gentrified Williamsburg and you're kind of like holding your coffee and on your phone. You took a wrong turn. You're like, wait, fuck, this is not where I was going.
Yeah, you're like, I have to backtrack. It's going to take me 10 minutes.
Okay, well, all right, whatever.
Yeah,
like,
whatever.
It's fine. I'll just be, and then you're texting Yorgos and you're like, sorry, I'm running 15 minutes late. It's a long story. I'll let you know
I
when
went
I
the
get
wrong
there.
way.
Sorry, I went the wrong way and did Crazy Stupid Love. Isn't that so random? I'm going to tell you all about it. Don't worry.
My feet are going to hurt when I get there, so have a stool for me.
Hi, George and Sam. Hope you both are doing well. Big fan of the pod. George, I was the TIFF guy at the Sketchfest show last week, if you remember me. The one person who had seen Testament of Anne Lee in the crowd. Just want to echo that Testament of Anne Lee was indeed robbed. My question for you guys is, of all the film festivals, which are the gayest and which are the straightest, in your opinion? Okay, thank you. Love you both. Bye.
I think for simplicity's sake, let's do TIFF, Cannes, Venice, Sundance.
Because obviously there's countless film festivals, all of which are beautiful, stunning, perfect. We would love to speak at them.
I would adore to do a panel, to moderate a panel.
Oh my God.
And it's about Lizzo's past.
Maybe about comedy.
Ooh, yeah. Maybe I can do one about comedy. You can do one about Lizzo's past, where it's Amanda Seyfried, Emma Stone, Sydney Sweeney, and Zendaya. And then they each talk about their journey with Lizzo's past.
God, that would be so amazing.
So I would say...
Okay, what were your four again?
Sundance, TIFF, Cannes, Venice.
Sundance,
Venice
Cannes,
is
Venice.
gayest.
Venice is gayest.
Because of the boat.
Because of the boat, and because it's like a place for like literally actresses to like wear a fun outfit, arrive on a boat and get photographed.
And it's also, Cannes is, you know, Cannes is the Beyonce and Venice is the Solange. Like, Cannes, yes, people do take fashion risks and look crazy, and like it is a big thing to win the Palme d'Or and all this stuff. But Venice can be a little more unexpected.
Well, the way it's less prestige, even though it's still very prestigious, but it's like less than Cannes. It like is like
it's Brooklyn.
It's Brooklyn. Whereas I almost want to put Cannes straighter, like because
it's the default.
It's the default, and it's so like that got an 8-minute standing ovation, which means it's 8 minutes worth of good. That got a 12-minute standing ovation. Like it's like statistically like what's coming out about it.
Yeah, let's say Cannes is the straightest. Now, TIFF and Sundance are interesting. Both of them are the indie darlings. Both of them are like Zooey Deschanel.
Yeah. This is tough. This is TIFF.
This is TIFF.
I think so. Sundance has an element which I know it's no longer going to be in Park City.
Yeah.
But I think the fact that it was pretty gay of it.
Yeah.
To take over, like you're essentially going on a vacation and writing it off
completely.
Like you're being like, well, it's actually not a vacation because the festival's here. But like you go there and like theme your outfits, like ski, even though you're not skiing.
Yeah.
It's like it's all very like campy and tongue in cheek.
It is. It's also very like Sundance is the film festival equivalent of a business that is made to look independent, but is actually owned by Amazon.
Yeah.
Like it's like Blank Street Coffee or something. Like everyone is like self-consciously dressed a little more casual and pretending that they're like, they just like stumbled into there with their hot tea. And then every background, every step and repeat has like Dropbox on it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so, and I think there's something about TIFF that's a little more down to earth. Now,
yeah, no, I think that's true. Sundance has like
it's neoliberal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay, so does that mean TIFF is gayer?
I think it would mean TIFF is gayer.
So it goes from straight to gay, Cannes, Sundance, TIFF, Venice. I'm comfortable with that.
I'm comfortable with that.
Okay.
Okay, this one, I must say that George wanted to play without comment, and I said, no, it requires a comment.
Hi, George and Sam. Eamon here, and I'm calling in as a literal subject of the discourse. I need to start with a confession. Sam, I believe I am the tequila solid bear from the episode Survivor. I was the guy standing right next to you at the good room who ordered that skinny beverage, and this is that bear backlash. However, George, I'm really calling because of a massive lapse in alignment I witnessed back in June. I was listening to the weightlifting episode with Gianmarco on my way to a certain high-end eucalyptus-scented gym in Brooklyn. I had literally just reached the part where you explained that changing in the locker room with a towel around your waist is inherently straight behavior. As I proceeded into the locker room, go to my corner, and whom do I find at the very next locker? George. And what is he doing? He is standing there, completely shrouded in a towel, actively engaged in the exact straight behavior he had just finished pathologizing in my ear. George, I was a listener trying to live my values and move toward a more enlightened, towel-free existence. And there you were, the architect of the discourse, clinging to your modesty like a suburban dad at a YMCA. My question is, was this a one-time performance of straightness, or do we need to have a serious conversation about the integrity of our values? How can we, as a community, move forward when the call is coming from inside the locker room?
You know, this
also,
is so...
congrats on your gains, George. XOXO.
Oh, thank you. This is so interesting because you think that you are gotcha-ing me, but what you're actually doing is making these definitions so rigid, which goes against the entire ethos of the podcast, and saying like, you said this, but you did this, that's hypocritical. I'll have you know that depending on my mood, how like good I feel, you know, how horny I am, whatever, I am doing various different kinds of performances in the locker room. Sometimes I'm towel on, sometimes I'm towel off. Sometimes I even will walk towel off from locker room from locker to shower. Sometimes I'll put my towel on for the walk. Sometimes I'll have two towels.
George, just face it. You have been exposed as a hypocrite. And in these trying times, It is so important that we live our values. I think this bear is very correctly coming for you. And I cannot believe you wrap a towel around you and then slide the underwear up the towel.
I do not do that always. I sometimes do that depending on how crowded my little corner is and if I don't want to like risk touching someone with my ass.
I cannot believe it. This is just so shocking.
I'm saying, and I actually think this is a more general, like, it's more generally emblematic of me being not 100% at home in a gym setting is that I don't have specific habits. Like I really go back and forth between being like completely free and being completely covered. And it's almost a tell. It's like he doesn't belong here because he doesn't know exactly what his, like, it's the same way I would never shave in a gym because I'm like, what if I do it wrong? What if suddenly it's not allowed?
I love shaving at the gym. Oh my God.
Anyway, but you know what? I am taking your feedback and I vow from now on to just sort of be cock out constantly at the gym, maybe even on the weightlifting floor.
Well, that's what happened to Nicole Byer.
That's right. It did. And I want to say appreciate the poetic nature of this call.
I mean,
even if it is attacking me.
That was an amazing call. But I will say this, I think the big theme of this call list is George.
Well, I didn't want to say anything, but a lot of them are addressing me. And frankly, none of them are addressing you this time around.
It's actually very interesting.
The big challenge for next time is address Sam and
no
attack
worries.
him.
I'm just feeling so invisible in a way that is interesting.
Well, I'm sorry to tell you this, but we have more listeners in New York than LA, and so they're more likely at this point to see me and think about me.
Well, also, of course, your hair is growing out.
Yes.
It's like maybe it's time for me to do a big.
Yeah, how are you going to keep up?
I think I have to dye my hair.
You have to dye your hair and then put your towel all the way up to your boobs.
Yeah, that's what I have to do.
Hi, this is a very prurient question, but I feel like you two can speak to it intelligently. Do you think that in a conversation with friends, women were saying that they pretty much tell each other when they're dating a man, they tell the other person everything about that gentleman's cock. Is that, I feel like there's a level of privacy among gay men, or am I wrong? Is like disclosing all the details about your partner's dick purely straight? Or does it blur the lines? All right. Have a good one.
Well, we were talking about this with them jeans.
Oh, remind me what we said?
He was saying how we were talking about straight women versus straight men, and how straight women, ironically, even though straight men have the reputation of objectifying women, straight women, ironically, are more likely to talk about like specifics of their husband's dick, whereas a straight man would never be like, this is what my wife's private parts are like.
Right.
So that's sort of men versus women, but this one is interesting because it's straight v gay.
I think there's something about gay men talking about other men's dicks where there almost is a little bit more empathy in every direction.
Yes.
And like, I think they will talk about it, but the stats they're sharing are different. Like, it's more like, how was sex? Like, I think it's very like, sex was good. This was fun. This was the energy. This was weird. This blah, blah, blah. But like, I think like literally just being like, dick was this long, this wide is like very not the culture.
Yeah, well, men versus women is much more warlike. It's like, give me, it's like, it's comparison based. It is like, it's very like, okay, this is the biggest dick I've ever seen and the smallest dick I've ever seen. Yeah. And I also think the specific question was about partners. And I do think what happens with gay men is, I think I will much more freely discuss non-partner men I've hooked up with.
Same thing.
And I would never go into like super lurid details about like me and my partner. I mean, maybe with like a close friend, but that does seem weirdly way more private or sacred. Whereas I'm like,
if it's a hookup, I'm like, well, his cock was this and blah, blah, blah.
Exactly.
If it's like Misha, I'm like, only my most trusted friends who I really get into it with.
So I think maybe that's the difference, is that if a straight couple is monogamous, that's the one dick she has to talk about.
Yeah.
So she's going to bring it up.
The only time I really bring up size of someone's dick is if it's like notably large, where it's just like, I actually haven't seen one that big very often. Like, then I'm sort of like, wow, that was that's like seeing the Grand Canyon.
Hi, Sam and George. I'm Martin, a glamour girl from the Netherlands. I've always wondered that if your listeners are glamour girls, then your title should be Glamour Divas or something more stupid sounding. Anyway, I don't know if you know this, but your podcast has a high listenability quality. I don't know if that's a word. And I often revisit old episodes. Which do you prefer? Episodes where the topic is discussed in length and you go on long theorizing tangents and are often creating binaries? or the episodes where the topic brings up a different conversation and you barely even touch the guest's topic. Love them both and love you too. XOXO.
Love ya.
Another hot voice.
I know.
Something is going on.
Something's up. Maybe you're
Okay.
just rock hard.
Yeah, maybe.
Okay. This is an interesting question. Do we care? Do we prefer to talk about the topic a lot or to just go fully off topic and be crazy? I think it really depends on if the guest actually cares about their topic, because there's something that's happening where our guests, if they like have never listened to the pod before, will come on. They won't know what we're talking about. They're like, oh, I have to have a straight topic. What do you guys want to? Oh, I've always done that. And we're like either intimidated or we just don't feel like arguing with them and they don't seem to care about the topics. We're just like, sure, that works. And then we like don't talk about it much because they don't care. And if they don't care, we don't care.
Yeah.
And we just don't want to like argue with them basically beforehand. And I like those episodes to an extent, but when a guest does care about the topic, I really do prefer it because their enthusiasm, I think, leads us and we get to then like really dive in and get deeper and deeper. Whereas it's so clear when the guest doesn't care about the topic, we try to go deeper. They're like, okay, moving on.
Yeah.
And we're like, no, the point is we like kind of dig in.
Yeah. And, to bring ourselves into it a little bit and not to only blame the guest, not that that's what you were doing, but
I'm guest blaming.
You're guest blaming. I would say, first of all, definitively, I do prefer episodes where we go into theorizing. That is, in my dream world, every episode would be mostly theorizing about a topic. And we would get to a point where, like, when we have someone like Theta on, who's really smart, where we're really like taking a topic like photography and theorizing about when is photography gay, when is photography straight, what is the evolution of it. We're doing this kind of comedic, idiotic philosophizing that I just think it's when we get in that role, it really feels like we're in a flow state and it feels like so fun and it feels like improv and all this stuff. So yes, in an ideal world, that is what every episode would be like. But I think both of us are worried about forcing it. So if it's not going there organically, oftentimes we won't push it.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe if we were like 20% more pushy, we could get it there. I think.
Yeah. Well, this is the big internal debate to get a peek behind the curtain is we're wondering how pushy to be and how like almost rude to be.
Yes. This is like a legitimate, not even debate, because I think neither of us is, it's not like we're each one side and we're arguing.
Right,
I think
right.
we are both undecided about how much we want to go combative interviewer mode as a bit and like alienate the guests for the sake of the audience having a better time, like perform for the audience rather than perform for the guest.
And it's tough because we have done that in the past, but only with like close friends.
Yeah.
And so when it's not someone we know very well, it's always like, well, I'm not going to be mean to a random person I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And but then it's like, should we? It's an interesting thing. And also it's just like, it's so easy for us to be mean to our friends, but both of us are like polite people. And it's very hard for us to be rude to someone who we barely know.
I know. It makes me feel like a fraud sometimes because I'm just like, if I was listening to someone else be so deferential.
Sure.
Is that the right word?
I think so.
Deferential to a big guest that they're intimidated by, I'd be like, I'm turning this off.
Right. I'd be like, grow up.
But it is difficult in the moment to like humiliate yourself and or take a risk. And you also do genuinely risk because the other person, if a person is going on the Adam Friedland show, they sort of know that that's what they're in for because they've like maybe seen past clips. They know that he plays this character.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas I think for us, because we don't necessarily play that character, it would be like really jarring to have like, Jennifer Lopez on and suddenly be like screaming at her.
This is something, I don't know if this is true, but tell me what you think, where I think as gay guys, we're expected to stan.
I know.
In a different way. And I think it's a little bit unfair. And I think like our guests come on being like, oh, two gay guys, they're going to love me. And it's like, oh, we kind of want to like be able to pretend to be mean to you and you're okay with it.
Yeah.
But they're just so used to like everyone. It's just like, well, it's gay guys on a microphone. They're going to be actually too nice to me.
Mm-hmm.
And we're like, what we do is like worse, where we're like, we don't want to be too nice, nor do we want to be rude. So we're just like normal.
Down the middle. Yes.
Yeah.
No, that's exactly it. It's like, I think being down the middle is the worst thing you can do. I would rather just be like, okay, I'm going to bonk my head and just be Stan mode.
Yeah.
And then it can be like fun in a sort of like, you know, Evan Ross Katz interviewing the heated rivalry guys way.
Yeah, totally.
Or, you know, or you go Adam Friedland mode, but like, yeah. And so I think that's why oftentimes we will not want to have bigger celebs on, honestly.
Yeah. But don't worry, we're going to have Amanda Seyfried on, and we are going to tell her that her forehead is too fucking small to play that character, and that she was stealing roles from big foreheaded bitches.
Women. Yeah. I got to say, not to bring up my experience at the Golden Globes yet again, but this was something that was very apparent there, where it's like we would write questions that are clearly meant in jest, and then celebrities like wouldn't know how to deal with them. So then you just get like an awkward interaction.
I mean,
where like we asked Claire Danes, like, you know, you're really smart. Is it hard for you to be the smartest person in the room at these events? Which is like such a layup. And she's just like very sweetly like, oh, I wouldn't say that's what makes it hard. I think it's just it's just stressful for everyone.
There's
like,
so many smart, creative people in this field. And no, I think I really underestimate PR training.
Yeah.
Because like there have been some interviews where I'm like, oh, we're going to ask them like a somewhat biting question and they're going to like get it and run with us. And it's like, no, the PR training is like in the bones sometimes.
You know what else? To be more empathetic to those celebrities, they are forced to do so much stupid bullshit now as part of their press tours.
Well, of course.
Like they have to eat hot wings. They have to like, you know, go on some like random TikTok show where someone like forces them to, you know, walk on one leg while like, you know, touching their head or something. Like they have to do a lie detector test. They have to be constantly reminded of their movies they made when they were 17. And it's like, unless we're doing something super different, all we're doing is adding to that cacophony.
Don't say that. We're not doing that. We're not adding to that. I want to say that it's like, this is why like Jennifer Lawrence gets to be such a star, because it's like when you find someone who is both good at acting, which is a lot of actors, but then also has like a fun personality and can do hot wings and actually be charming and can do a podcast where people are weird and actually kind of get the bit. You're like, oh, well, you are God now.
Literally. And we like, haven't really found one since then.
We literally haven't. I mean, I think Ivy Woke is obviously going to be that, but she's doing it the opposite way, where she's crushing the comedy podcast circuit and then will win an Oscar by the time she is 27.
Which is in 15 years,
Which is in 15 years.
Yeah, it's complicated. But I sort of like that the show is always a work in progress.
Oh, honey, we're growing. We're changing.
And I'm much more into the idea of being looser and sort of like playing it fast and loose with segments and with topics and doing special episodes and things like that.
Yeah, I like that this is our ending call, actually.
Me too.
It's reflective.
Yeah. Well, you know, we no longer call these shows Earnestness Bonanzas, but
I know.
they are Earnestness Bonanzas.
This ending was, well, that's because we're just more real. We're more real.
I know.
Than we once were.
I know, it's true. We've dropped the act.
We should have a year where we're bad.
I know. I'm ready to be bad, to be honest.
I'm ready to be bad. We need to be bad.
You know what's funny? Even with our friends now, we used to be more mean to them.
I
think the older we get, the more I'm like, well, it seems cruel to ask someone to come on a podcast and then be mean to them.
I mean, we were mean to Joe Firestone.
Oh, yeah. That was really good. Yeah, maybe we should just have Joe Firestone on once a month and just verbally abuse her.
Yeah. And then maybe we need to have, get ready. We're going back to our roots. It's time to be mean.
Okay. Well, I love that. And earnestly, thank you everyone for calling these. And we got to a small fraction of the calls, not to brag, but there were a lot of other ones that I thought were really great. Some very thoughtful calls this time around. I think our audience is growing with us in a very sweet way.
Yeah. And, you know, next time, if you want to maybe ask me about anything that's going on in my life, you know, I wouldn't be opposed. I do have a rich inner life. If you care about that.
What sorts of topics would you like questions about?
hair, body, face, dreams, wants, wishes, etc.
Yeah.
Favorite color, favorite food, vacation destinations in the coming year, top, bottom, verse. Just questions such as that.
Yeah. So if you guys could just write in and maybe ask Sam if he's top, bottom, or verse, he would really appreciate that.
Yeah,
it's something he's always wanted to answer on air.
Because I'm currently giving sidekick, and that's a bit tough.
I do not think you're currently giving sidekick.
I'm giving sidekick.
Oh my God.
My Andy Richter ass.
I cannot believe this.
No, JK. I don't actually feel that way. Just practicing being bad.
Well, that's all we have to say, and I just want to say that it's time to change things politically now.
Literally, you guys strike and boycott wherever you can. I will not be going to a restaurant on Friday, even though I don't know if it's allowed or not.
I'm never eating again.
That's called a hunger strike.
Literally hunger strike until the entire system is dismantled.
I have been on a hunger strike recently, but only because all my meals have been so small. I keep being like, whatever happened to portions?
Calling dieting a hunger strike. You're just dieting because you're like going to the Oscars and you're like, I'm on a hunger strike.
I feel like every meal I have, I'm like, this is going to be the big one. It's this big.
Yeah.
I'm starving.
I want to say it is so stressful when you go out to dinner with a friend and you know they're not a big eater and they refuse to order enough food. I went out to dinner with a friend recently. Actually, I went out to dinner with my friend April. She initially suggested getting one appetizer and one entree to share. I had to step in. I had to say, April, I know you are a skinny-licious diva who, of course, has a healthy relationship with food, but just like doesn't need more than that. I do. And I actually put my foot down and I said, we're ordering another entree. And then we got dessert.
Well, Misha and I went out for birthday dinner with my brother and his girlfriend, and you better believe we ordered over 100 things. Turns out they're all this big.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, the tapas, the tapasification of everything needs to end.
We ordered a steak. They say how big it's going to be in ounces. And then I get the thing and I say, bring out the scale.
Yeah.
Because this is not that big.
When they do ounces, but it's bone in, you're saying, oh, so I'm sorry, 2/3 of this was bone?
I'm paying for the bone.
So I'm paying for the bone.
Just to be clear, I'm paying for the bone? Unbelievable.
You tip, but not for the bone. You do
bone
the
fee.
Math,
Bone
you
fee.
do the math, and you tip only for the part that isn't bone.
I mean, the bone,
No.
that was insane.
No, tip your servers.
I'm going to domestic terrorist that restaurant.
Oh my God, you should.
And I will.
As we said, it's easier to take down small businesses than big ones. And so let's start there. And then, maybe in a few years, we'll get to Amazon after there are no small businesses left.
Okay, well, I could talk forever, but unfortunately, I have to pee so bad.
Yeah, and I have to go to the gym fully naked. Goodbye.
Bye. Podcast ends now. StraightioLab is a production by Will Ferrell's Big Money Players Network and iHeart Podcasts.
Created and hosted by me, George Civeris, and Sam Taggart.
Executive produced by Jenna Cagle, co-produced by Becca Ramos.
Edited by Lauren Stumpf and mixed and mastered by Doug Bain.
Artwork by Michael Fales and Matt Grubb. Theme music by Ben Kling.